This morning I addressed the third committee. In my oral presentation, I started referring to the national elections of 2010 that the government has planned. I told the government that these elections should be fair and transparent, that freedom of speech, movement and association should be guaranteed in the country, and of course that all prisoners of conscience should be released before those elections. In terms of the assessment of the human rights situations in general terms, I stated that in Myanmar the situation of human rights remains alarming, that there is a pattern of widespread and systematic violations, that the prevailing impunity allows for the continuation of those violations. I urge the government to take prompt measures to establish accountability and responsibility with regard to those widespread and systematic human rights violations. I also refer to the starvation situation in many areas in the country, particularly in Kayin State and North Rakhine State, and Chin, North and Eastern Shan states. I received reports on dire economic and social conditions, and I asked the government of Myanmar and the international community to try to find solutions to eradicate poverty. In conclusion, I stressed the necessity of the government to implement my recommendations, my 4 core human rights elements, which are, first, the release of all prisoners of conscience; second, the review and reform of national legislation which is not in compliance with international human rights standards; third, to reform the judiciary in order to assure independence and impartiality; and fourth, the reform of the military in order to respect international humanitarian law in conflict areas and on the rights of civilians.